worst job experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I was working for someone who was so evil-spirited. Hey beloveds, welcome to BeenieTV, where I offer you sprinkles of spiritual sassiness. So if you are new to my channel, I start every video with an affirmation. So go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath in, release. I base success on my own terms. I base success on my own terms. I base success on my own terms. Go ahead and take a deep breath in, release. All right, y'all, I'm sick of these corona braids. Ciao. Never learned how to do my own hair. I'm so jealous of everyone that knows how to do their hair because the way this, oh Lord. I've been pursuing acting professionally for the past 5 years. And you have seen me in shows like Grownish, Shameless, and in music videos like SZA's Broken Clocks. I have an entire Moving to LA playlist on this channel that goes, I give you like detailed information on how to get an agent in New York or LA, how to get ready for auditions. I have a plethora of free advice and resources in that playlist. I will link it below. But I was asked by Lashana B, hey girl, she asked, can I do a video on jobs outside of acting or your side business to start? So I would love to. I'm an open book. So I moved to Los Angeles. I currently don't live in Los Angeles anymore. I will be returning in 2021. I had to take a little break. But I moved to Los Angeles in 2014, and the first job that I had was at Madewell at the Grove. I was working at Madewell in New York City as I was saving up for Los Angeles, and I just transferred from New York to LA, the LA store. I highly recommend, if you're working retail, to just transfer. It's just, it gives you that buffer, that safety net. I have a lot of people asking me, I want to move to New York, I want to move to LA with no money. Why do you want to struggle? Why do you want to suffer? The acting career, the industry is not going anywhere, especially now with Corona. We have no idea what it's going to be like. So relax, okay, and make your money so that when you get to New York or LA, you can have a buffer at least for a few months. Anyway, so I worked at Madewell for 2 weeks. I ended up leaving Madewell because I had a terrible incident with a manager who basically low-key made me take the bus by myself at 5 a.m. from the Grove, which is like what's it called, mid city or whatever it's called, and I lived all the way downtown. And she at first offered to give me a ride at about 8 p.m. and then by the time 5 a.m. came around, she just changed her mind. Cool. I was crying. My phone was dead. I didn't know the buses like that. I didn't have a car. So I'm taking the bus at 5 a.m. I didn't get home until 8. I never went back there again. And she had the nerve to text me to see if, like, 2 days later, to see if I was okay. No, girl, I'm dead in a ditch because you didn't want to take me home. After that, I worked at a 5-star hotel. And that is where I met a lot of celebrities. I saw the way that wealthy people live. Saw a lot of terrible human behavior. I saw a lot that can be, if you want a video on who I met while working at the 5-star hotel, let me know in the comments below. I was there for 2 years. I will say that I had like the worst attitude while I worked there. I did not like working there at all. And now I know as I've gotten older, I just can't work for other people, and that's that on that, and then that's period. So I was making really good money, and my rent was $300. That's another video. I'm actually going to shoot it right after this. But I was only paying $300 rent because I lived in a dilapidated building. And the county had sued them because it was basically unlivable. But so I had a lot of money when I was in LA, and I was kind of saving, kind of not, getting tips from the hotel. So I worked there for about 1.5 years, and I quit because I was like, I am gonna start my own self-love business, and I'm going to sell my e-course, and I'm gonna become a huge star. And it's like, well, no. I fell flat on my face, and I struggled for a while until I got a job at Bloomingdale's. Yes, I worked at Bloomingdale's. Again, miserable there. I should just like not work I'm never working retail again, right? Like that is just, that wasn't me. So I worked at Bloomingdale's. While I worked at Bloomingdale's, I was also working at a store called COS, which is underneath the H&M umbrella. I was there for about a year, a little over a year, and I loved it there. I loved my coworkers. I loved working there because they worked with me as an actor. The 5-star hotel did not work with me as an actor. And that's why I always say in my videos, make it plain that you are an actor pursuing acting, actively going to auditions, because people don't believe you. When you're in LA and you say you're an actor, people don't believe you. And then you pull up that resume, sis, and then they're like, oh, okay, like you're legit. So make sure, if you are in LA and you have an agent or a manager and you are actively auditioning, you have to tell that to your boss, because most of the time you're going to be working for people that tried to pursue acting and failed, or you're going to be working for people that support you. So make it clear. So I loved working at COS. I actually got fired from there because there was a glitch in the system, and I was on my 3rd strike because I kept being late. But there was a glitch in the system, and I accidentally manifested not working there anymore. So after that, I was in LA for 4 years, so a lot of jobs. After that, I worked at, I did a temp agency. So I worked at the YouTube office that was in Beverly Hills. I don't think it's there anymore. I worked at these random offices, and I had to do really weird stuff, like using a program to make sure that people were sitting in their assigned seats at an office space. It was weird, but there was like a $600 bonus. So I was like, yes, I'm a TikTok and not TikTok, but I'm a check off who's in their seat and who's not in their seats. Grown ass adults, by the way. So after that, also, when I was working at the 5-star hotel, I worked at a restaurant at the same time. I worked there for 2 weeks because one of the servers was so mean to me. I think he was mean and jealous of the 2 hostesses, myself included, that got hired, because I think he thought it was taking out of the, the tip pool, the pool tip or whatever. So I stopped working there after 2 weeks. I was like, I'm not taking this. I don't need this. I have another job. So then I went to Nordstrom, and I worked at Nordstrom. I worked for Nordstrom for almost 2 years, a year and a half. I worked at the Grove, and I liked it, but I was still miserable. Personal thing. Liked it, but I was still miserable, but I had more freedom. And then I went to Nordstrom at Century City, and that was one of the worst job experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I was working for someone who was so evil-spirited, and I wish that person nothing but the best. And last but not least, after I left Nordstrom, I didn't even put in the 2 weeks. I just walked out. I was like, I'm emotionally done. I would come home crying, gushing my heart out, crying. Okay. After work, sometimes I had one coworker use the word Negro, like he was describing how someone was speaking, and he used the word Negro. He was like 70, and that was just it was just a toxic, terrible atmosphere. I really know how to pick them, don't I? And then last but not least, I actually worked at Fashion Nova. I worked at Fashion Nova for 4 days before I had a mental breakdown, and I had to move back to New Jersey. So all while doing that, I was booking work. Like I said, I was booking modeling jobs, booking national commercials. So I needed something to sustain me, because those jobs were not consistent. Like I would book maybe 3 jobs out of the year, which for someone who does not have a traditional acting background is amazing. But then you have other people that are like my one amazing, wonderful, beautiful friend, Stacy. She's booked and blessed and busy, okay? Like she be booking every day, and like it's different for everybody. So as you can see, I mostly worked in the service industry. Did not like it for the most part, except for 1 or 2 jobs. But yeah, you kind of have to find that job and you can work corporate. I've seen people work corporate and still go out to auditions. So you really just have to be clear on what you want and how you want it to be. If you guys have any questions below, and you guys are always DMing me, a lot of you are like 18, 15, DMing me, asking me, am I too young to go to LA or New York? You're not too young. It's just that you better be ready for real life. right? Because like, do not go out there with the expectation that life is going to be easy and that you're going to be booking work left and right. Like, you have to remember that when you move to LA or New York, the goal is to become a professionally working actor. But you have to remember there is life in between that. So you want to make sure that your life in between booking work and auditions is comfortable, because that's where I messed up. I moved to LA when I was 24. That's where I messed up. I was like, oh my God, no, I just need to go to LA and I need to just be an actor. And I didn't take into consideration my everyday life, you know, like what was good for me, what wasn't good for me, and listening to myself, right? And finding that job finding the job in the apartment, which is where you're going to spend most of your time. Finding that place that when the day is over, you feel comfortable coming home, you feel, for the most part, happy to go to work. Finding that happy medium. I hope this video answered most of your questions. If you have any questions, DM me at BeenieTV or leave me a comment below. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to book a one-on-one soul session with me, head over to my website, salomeshay.com, where I offer my soul sessions where you and I will go through anything that's coming up for you. And if you want to purchase my e-course, also head over to salomeshay.com. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next video.